Please stay on the line while your call is transferred
Your
to the
case
next
requires
available
special handling
customer care representative. To help us improve our service
for
to
Health
you,
and Human
your call
Services.
may be monitored or recorded.
Thank you for calling the Health and Human Service Commission. My name is Jennifer. May I please get your first and last name?
Okay, so I have updated the address, I believe, 3 times, and you still
I'm
don't
not
have...
saying it's not updated. I just needed it to verify what your previous address is.
Okay, so I've called you, and you need to know the older address to get, because I don't remember it. I know that it's, but I'm not quite sure why you would have to verify the older address I don't remember instead of the one I've updated multiple times. Why wouldn't you update the new address? I mean, ask me the new address instead of trying to verify the old address.
So the Gannon Lane,
I'm not being heard, ma'am. I'm not quite sure why you wanted to verify an older address instead of the current address.
so anytime you make a change, such as the mailing address or the residential address, it can take 30 calendar days to be processed. So I'm not saying it wasn't updated.
You just want to verify the older address. Okay, ma'am, go ahead. My life is normal, ma'am. Just go ahead. Years. Everywhere you calling, people want to conspire with abuse, crimes, and violate with no consequences. So go ahead, ma'am, whatever you have to do.
May I verify your phone number, please?
So you don't, I just want to make sure, ma'am, so you don't see the new address? You only saw the older address?
Yes,
but you did update the new, you did say, ma'am, I'm talking, that's rude, for years of this?
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, years.
Go ahead.
So you saw the older address, but you had the new address that you just went over.
So when I'm looking at your addresses, I have an old address for the residential address, and I have the...
Okay, because I've updated it multiple times. This happened at the with tag registration. They had wrong information. It's a repetitive pattern of my life being sabotaged in every avenue. But whatever you need, so I can get information. Years of this, ma'am. I'm just, the electricity off. I just don't know how many patterns equal a risk. Now they have concocted the internet's off. I just don't know. But go ahead, ma'am.
I'm going to go ahead and look into that change. And
that's not why I called, but if that's what you are wanting to do is look in the change that has been looked into multitude of times, deflecting, whatever you have to do, ma'am. Let me know when you're ready for me to explain why I called.
Go ahead.
Okay. So when you send, I assume that what is the special handling that they said that was on the account?
Special handling. I didn't see any special handling on your account.
Okay, well that's what it stated on the recording.
The recording is not the most up-to-date information. That's why you have the option to speak with us so we can clarify any of those details for you.
Maybe that because last time that they concocted that I didn't do a job search and you guys didn't tell me about it. So your inability to communicate, send me out mail, cost me my food stamps in a crisis. And it's the second time that it happened. So I don't know why I would call in and people would deflect and play games and sabotage my services or, my help, my assistance. I think the special handling may have something to do with the insurance coverage. But if I'm calling in and you're sabotaging assistance like in person.
Can I clarify some information with you, please?
I thought we already clarified it, ma'am. But if you got to clarify it again, ma'am, go ahead, ma'am. We were talking about insurance, ma'am. I'm not quite sure what you're talking about because we were talking about insurance and you're deflecting and talking about SNAP. I asked you.
No, ma'am, I'm not deflecting.
Okay, so you don't know why you work for 211 Health and Human Services and you don't know what's going on with my account.
Without looking into the details, no, ma'am.
Can you look in the details because that's what I'm requesting? I call for information and for you to deflect and ask me for the information that I'm calling for is not good customer service. I'm calling you for the information. And this is a repetitive pattern years, ma'am.
So what insurance are you talking about?
You're the Health and Human Services and you don't know?
No, ma'am. I don't just randomly know what insurance
you're looking at the account, ma'am. I gave you my information. Hacking a phone network is criminal, ma'am. I gave you my information, all my personal information, and for the government to repetitively have me force me to speak with scammers that have defrauded me out of funds is sick. I gave you all my
Okay,
personal information and you still don't have up my account?
So I show that you have the Healthy Texas Women's Medicaid, and that is showing current until November 30th of this year.
Okay, do you think maybe that's the issue that they were talking about that needs special handling?
Let me research that for you.
You'll have to research it, ma'am. Okay.
Special handling on your account, what I do see is that there was, way back in August 22nd, there was a letter that was generated that you were able to...
Yeah, I know about that. That's not what I'm calling about. I'm not being heard. I'm not calling about that.
I'm trying to understand what you're calling about, ma'am, but just...
You had me on hold a great deal of time, and I don't know why you would put me on hold and you didn't know what you needed to... I mean, why would you put someone on hold and you don't know why you did it? We were talking about the insurance, and I've experienced this years, which I think is psychologically abusive. So if you're not going to let me tell you why I called and you're emotionally abusive talking while I'm talking, are you committing a crime and you don't want me to know what the crime is have evidence of the crime that you're committing? Well, can I tell you why I called since you don't know and you keep interrupting me while I tell you?
Please do.
Okay, I asked about the insurance coverage that I wasn't even aware that I had. And then you put me on hold a great deal of time to not give me insurance information on the insurance, which is a repetitive experience that I have. Games. So if you put me on hold all that time for the insurance and then you talked about something that was not the insurance coverage.
May I speak now?
Do you not want me to have the coverage, ma'am? So with the insurance, do you send out cards or anything? Letters?
So the Healthy Texas Women's Medicaid insurance that you have, if you're needing the insurance card and those details, we do have a...
I'm not being heard, ma'am. Do you send it out? Do you send it out?
The managed care department would send that out.
I never got it, ma'am. I never got it or any information on, because they tried to con last call and cover for the fact that the felony crime of my someone is sabotaging my ability to get mail. So Health and Human Services scammers on my phone tried to cover for that and lie and say that they didn't send it out while the police were here, and they still haven't called me back. I've been going through this chaos years, and I'm trying to expose the felony crimes that are repetitively ignored that are committed around me. So your operator lied to cover for the fact that this place did not give me my mail. Okay, I don't know why she would conspire with that crime, but she did. So then I'm asking today, because I didn't get insurance cards, nothing, to let me know I even had coverage, and in fact someone lied and said I didn't have it.
Okay.
That I didn't qualify, like they lied about other services that they've in fact been doing this years. So, but here's the thing: do you send out cards or any information with insurance? With the insurance?
Yes, the managed care department does send out those insurance cards once you select a plan. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, how do you know to select the plan if you don't get any information?
Yeah, that makes sense. Why you wouldn't know if somebody didn't let you know.
Right, but I mean, everyone covers for crimes, ma'am, around me.
Pardon me?
Yeah, I said I can't find people that aren't covering for crimes around me. So how do you resolve it?
I can transfer you to the managed care department so you can select that information if you haven't already done so, and make sure that you do get a card for that.
Okay, so what do I do about the coverage that's about to end?
Let me see here.
Yeah, because I mean, last time the food stamps got cut off because they were playing games and didn't want me to know that they had a requirement of a job search for just me. So they didn't want me to know that, and I called in. Then, because they didn't want me to know about it, they also did not. I reported I had a job. They didn't put that in there either. But this is one of the downfalls of being forced to speak with scammers for years. They cover for everything. Trust me.
Okay.
This is how long I've been on hold for the games.
Pardon me, ma'am?
Oh, you had me on hold.
No. No, I didn't put you on hold. I just was telling you I was giving you a moment of silence so I could review the information.
Yeah, that is hold. If you told me that you were going to review the information and it was going to be a moment of silence, that's what I meant. I'm sorry.
Ma'am. that's okay. I just wanted you to know that I hadn't put you on hold where I couldn't answer a question if you came up with one, and I was still reviewing the information.
Okay. So the question is, if I have coverage that is expiring in November, what do I do to continue the coverage? And you put me on hold to figure that out.
What you would do is you can log into your texasbenefits.com website account, and you would use the website, not a mobile app, if you indeed use that. And you would submit a renewal. If you don't have the option to renew that health coverage, then you would submit a new application. However, because you already have the coverage, HHSC will review that as a renewal, even though you're submitting a new application. That's how you renew it.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so I can, here we go again, ma'am. That's rude again. Experienced this years. People talk when I'm asking questions. So for your Texas benefits, do I have to have a password? Because I'm not sure what the password would be. Are you able to reset it?
Let me look into that. Let me look at your account and see what's there.
Okay, thank you.
I wasn't trying to cut you off.
It's happened years, ma'am. They never are.
So
it's years, ma'am. Okay, thank you. While you're looking that up, are you familiar with the family violence program that you guys have?
Yes, how may I assist you with that?
Well, how does that work? And how do you apply for it?
If you're experiencing family violence?
Yes.
Is that what you're asking?
Right.
Okay. Let me first get the information you asked me about getting online, and then I can address the family violence question.
Okay, thank you. It let me do it this time, ma'am?
Oh, good.
Yes. Okay, thank you.
Sometimes,
okay, after it let me do it, I repetitively experienced system issues. After it let me do it, it started all the way over again. It just confirmed that I put in all the information for the password, and then it reset, forcing me to have to do it again. Is that normal? So what do I do if it just confirmed it and then reset?
Before I answer that question, what kind of internet browser?
My phone's hacked. I don't have rights, ma'am. I don't have rights.
Pardon?
I don't have rights. So is that normal for me to put all the information and confirm it and reset it again? Do I have to do it over?
Yes, that is normal. Sometimes depending on what web browser you're using.
So did it go through? Did it go through?
I'm not able to see what your new password or anything is. All I know is I have the temporary password. So go ahead and log in with the new password that you created, and let's confirm if it was accepted.
Okay, let me try that. It did say that it was, but my life isn't normal. So let's try this and see if it worked. Okay, it's stating that the information you received confirmed for form resubmission. The page that you're looking for used information that you entered. Returning to that page might cause any action you took to be repeated. Do you want to continue?
No. What I'd like you to do is to open up a new Google Chrome browser.
So cancel this one? Do I hit cancel, ma'am? Continue?
Cancel.
Okay, thank you. No, ma'am, the story of my life, it reset. You gave me that password and I went to all of this, and then I had problems with entering the password. It was malfunctioning. Now that we went through all that and it finally accepted it, then it didn't accept it. This happened in my AdSense. It's still not right with YouTube. Every avenue it happened with the stimulus. Every avenue I take, there's glitches that I can't get resolved for years. So do I have to restart and do it all over again, ma'am?
Yes.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, so I entered the new password. It didn't go through. It reset after it verified the password was entered, but it wasn't entered. So do you have to give me a temporary password again?
You should be able to use the same temporary password that I provided you.
I don't have it anymore because I entered it. I entered it, ma'am, and reset it, and then it didn't take place. My device malfunctioned, and my provider will not help me with the crimes going on with their network. They enforce it. So let me try to do it again.
Okay. And then decided to stop per
Your
moment.
system decided to stop, ma'am?
The system where I'm resetting.
It happens, yours, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. 34 minutes. And barely nothing resolved. And the address still hasn't been updated, even though I have made multiple calls. They will not update the address, period. We've already went through that, ma'am, as well as a multitude of other operators. The address can't be done, apparently, because I've already updated the address, and you guys keep going over the older address.
It actually was, the mailing address was up, just so you're aware of that.
I've been here a year, ma'am. I'm almost a year. So I'm not quite sure what the issue is with the address, like I stated prior.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so you said we can use the older password. Now you have to give me a new password.
It's not letting me bring up the old password.
Okay, so you're having technical glitches along with me having technical glitches, so we're both having technical glitches. Okay, ma'am. Okay, I'll do it. Just one moment. Okay, you want me to repeat it. And I put in show password and it's malfunctioning again. It won't show the password. Right there, show password, and it's malfunctioning.
That's okay. I have the password here in case we need that again.
Okay, well, I can go ahead and submit since it's not allowing me to show the password like I requested. More technical glitches?
Yes, ma'am. Please do.
And then I'll see how that works. Show password is malfunctioning and won't show password. Okay. Okay, now I'm entering it in a second time. And let's see how this works, ma'am.
Yes. Yes, that is.
What's normal?
For you to, you enter it in the first time, and then it'll ask you to enter it in a second time, and then you should be prompted to enter in your new password that you're going to create.
Oh, no, what I'm saying is I've already done this, and it was approved, and then reset. Then you had technical glitches. Then I had technical glitches, and it wouldn't show the password. And you're stating that's normal?
It does happen. Yes. I wouldn't say it's a normal everyday occurrence, but it does happen.
Well, no. And, I have a lot of technical glitches. But people seem to think that it's all normal around me, even my cell phone provider. Okay.
I would tend to agree with you that it's not a normal thing to be happening.
Okay, so the password thing went through. It allowed me to do that password. So now I'm answering the questions.
Hold on just 1 second before you do that.
Okay.
When you say it allows you to enter in your password, you're talking about the temporary password I gave you?
Right, and I submitted a new password and then I got a check. Like I did last time.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Okay, great.
Yeah, it did it again.
Did you get an error?
No, it's saying the change password again.
The change password, do you mean like the new password you created or the temporary password?
I submitted all my information. I gave it the password. I updated it, and I clicked next, and it keeps on starting over. This is why I can't get monetized on YouTube. This is a crime for someone to repetitively get away with doing this years.
May I ask you a question?
Sure.
What is the device that you're using to...
No, ma'am, I'm not being heard. The person that I wanted to... Let's do the family violence. Because there's a crime being committed at Health and Human Services, and my phone don't want me to get it resolved. So that's why it keeps on resetting. It wants to make my life a living, you know what, and someone has the power to abuse. It happened with the stimulus. It's happening with me getting monetized on YouTube, and there's never consequences for these crimes. It's a pattern for me. And no one will stop my life from getting violated. So it's not going to let me, as it didn't let me get the stimulus and all kind of other avenues of my life. And it's extreme to not having consequences for someone breaking in and counterfeiting YouTube. But I can't get anything done.
Sorry to hear that.
Yes, so I can't get my YouTube monetized as well as find out what's going on with this. So this would be the third time. Let's go ahead and do it again. Maybe someone can finally rack up charges for these crimes. Let me try it one more time. Do we need to reset the password again, or can you give me the same one?
I can give you the same password.
Okay.
The temporary password.
Okay.
I have it.
Okay. What's that? Okay, I got the check mark again. Okay, I'm clicking next again after I've answered the security questions. and I got the
Okay.
arrow stating that it was okay.
Yes. Okay.
Finally, it let me do it again. It let me go through. Success. Okay, so I can check both of those. Now, here's the problem, ma'am. They're requiring me to do a job search, and I'm being railroaded by the government, and they require me to do a job search. I don't understand why they would isolate me and require me to have a job to get benefits. So there's a catch-22, so I don't get them in my crisis.
So with this new application, you're going to enter in all your current information that applies today. Don't associate previously what they did request. That was a different, process as far as an application.
No, ma'am, there's a glitch that I'm trying to report. Ma'am, I'm not being heard. There's a glitch. They're requiring me to do a job search to get benefits. It's a benefit, so there's a catch-22, so I don't get them. So you're saying now that there's a different procedure and they won't do that and have put the catch-22 to deprive me of services?
No, what I'm saying is some of the information that HHSC will request for as far as previous employers. One of the searches, I don't know exactly if this is what you're talking about, but the Texas Workforce Commission, they'll ask one of the verification.
No, I called the Texas Workforce Commission. They said it was Health and Human Services requiring me to have a job to get benefits in my crisis. I don't have a job, and I'm getting terrorized and violated by the government. That's why I need benefits.
Okay. Let me look at the requirements for the SNAP food benefits and then.
Right, because they're stating, the Texas Workforce is stating that you are doing it, not them.
Okay. I was thinking along the lines of if HHSC had requested some missing information verification.
No, that's not what I'm stating. The Health and Human Services is giving me a catch-22, requiring me to have a job and as a catch-22 to deprive me of services. So the Texas Workforce said that you have it coded that way. And since you have it coded that way, my services keep getting sabotaged. They said the error is with you guys.
Yes, that's a very good point. Thank you.
You're welcome.
For SNAP food benefits is residency in Texas. Obviously, you are in Texas. People who live in Texas for any purpose other than, that doesn't apply to you. You're a U.S. citizen, employment services, and meet SNAP work requirements. I think that's what you're talking about. So what that is individuals age 18 up to 50 may need to meet the able-bodied adult without dependent work requirement section for more information. So that's the work requirement I think you're maybe replying.
Well, the thing of it is why would they check that for me and isolate me and do it and target me and don't require for other citizens? Why am I being targeted?
That's a requirement for anybody who is.
Okay. So moving forward, so they're going to require me to do a job search. I don't mind doing the job search. No problem with that. I just don't want to be targeted and, required to do things that other people don't have to do. And then, have people give me misinformation. So I'm in there and then I can apply for these benefits. Okay. So now for the family violence assistance.
What I'll do is I will add what you'd like me to about family violence. HHSC will review.
You don't want me to know about the family violence, ma'am? Ma'am, you don't want me to know what that consists of?
This is the information that I have as far as if you are...
So I've called 211 and you're depriving me of information on the family violence program that you have. Applying for it.
I'm not depriving you.
That's what I want to know, the information on what the family violence program consists of, ma'am. I'm calling 211 Health and Human Services.
So for Health and Human Services, who you're speaking with right now...
I want to know about the family violence program, ma'am. I don't know why they do it in person and on my phone. Why would you guys have an agenda to keep me from being protected against my abuser?
Are you talking about... Let me just clarify some information. I'm not trying to keep you from...
I wanted to hone on in and actually get the information, ma'am, that I've been trying to get. Can you just tell me about them before you make an excuse?
Yes, there's an agency that you can speak with that may be able to assist you.
So you don't want me to know about assist me
assessment.
with getting help with the family violence program. You don't want me to know about those services, period.
No, that is not what I'm saying.
Okay, well,
at all,
can you
ma'am.
tell me
What
about
I'm
it, ma'am?
saying is
Can you tell me about it, ma'am?
the family violence, as far as HHSC goes, that we will code your account with an alert that says family violence. That helps so that if anybody's calling and trying to get information.
Okay, well, let me
on
tell
your
you what it
account,
says, states, ma'am, because
can.
people are dishonest with me. Let me tell you what it states. Hold on one moment. Let me tell you what it states for the family violence program. Hold on. It says the family violence programs promote safety, self-sufficiency, and long-term independence of adult and child survivors of family violence and survivors of dating violence. Through a network of trauma-informed service providers, the program provides emergency shelter, supportive services to survivors and their children, educates the public, provides training, and offers prevention support to various organizations across Texas. Calling randomly on 211, I don't know why everywhere I call protects my abuser and deprives me of services to escape his abuse for years.
So that is what I'm trying to actually address for you. For assistance, I have a different department that assists you with that. And
Okay.
that's why I wanted
So I have to call a different department. Different department. Okay.
It is, yes, it is 211 that you call, but after you select your language, you select option 1, and they also have an 877 number I can give you if you prefer to have that.
Okay.
What I wanted to do was
What's the
transfer you
877
to
number?
them.
What's the 877 number, ma'am?
877 541 7905.
Okay. So you said it was not normal for it to reset all those times. Is that correct?
It's not something that occurs all the time. It is something that may happen, which I would agree with you to say that is a glitch.
Okay, and then also you had an issue with your password. You couldn't get the password that we had already reset. So now this is a number. I have to call a different number to get the information for the family violence program, because what people told me in the past, they tried to convince me, and this is how long I've been on the phone. They tried to convince me it was only the way that they that marked the account for family violence. They were trying to deprive me of the information for the program, so they said the way that they coded the account. They told me that in the past to deprive me of assistance.
Okay.
But I don't know why a multitude of people want to keep me in my abuse by this man that claims that he's innocent. Why all these people on my phone and all over the planet cover for him and deprive me of services so I stay in his abuse for years. So you're stating that you can't give me any information at 211 as well as 311 couldn't. Now you have to I have to call 877-541-7905.
I'm telling you, I can transfer you to them. That who you're talking to now here at HHS.
I just want to confirm that you can't give me any information on this program. I just wanted to confirm that you have no knowledge and can't give me any information. The only thing you know about family violence is the way your account is coded. Is that correct?
That's all I can do for you is to document the account to have it coded. However, this other...
but I did ask for information that you're depriving me of. I did ask for information at 211 that you're depriving me of. And you're requiring me to call this number or transfer me over, and you're depriving me of any information at all. Then you stated that it was only the way that your account was coded until I read what was on the site. And this has happened years, and I just wanted to get down to the bottom of it. Why would a multitude of people protect this man with such a vengeance and leave me in jeopardy? Okay, ma'am, let's go with, whatever, ma'am, just our years. Can you please just transfer me to whoever you say claim will give me the assistance? I haven't received it years. So let's try this. Go ahead, ma'am.
Yes, and do you want the number for the managed care to talk to them about your insurance card as well?
So they were supposed to send it out and I didn't get it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yes, that number, please.
Agency about the family violence.
Family violence, ma'am. Family violence. Please help with that.
Okay. All right. Thank you for calling HHSC. I hope we answered your questions as best as we could.
I hope I have a better day too. Thank you.
You're welcome. 211. My name is Josie. How may I help you?
Yes, what division is this of 211?
I'm sorry, ma'am?
What division of 211 is this?
It's just 211 in general. Were you trying to reach a specific department?
Well, I was told that I needed to contact you regarding the family violence program.
I can give you the number to the nearest office for that.
Okay, so you don't want me to have any information. I called 211 and you guys are depriving me of any information on what it does? And you want me to go to the office and you're depriving me of any assistance and I called you and asked for it? And you don't want me to know?
We have some information, ma'am, but not all of it.
Okay, well, I'm asking for information and you're trying to force me to go into the office. I'd like to know what services they are before I go to the office. That's why
that's why we give you the phone number so you can call beforehand.
I just called the phone number, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
I got transferred over here, so I got transferred to this number to get help with domestic violence, and how do I get help if you guys won't give it to me?
I have to give you the phone number, ma'am.
Okay, you can't call transfer? I have to call the number?
We can only transfer to Health and Human Services.
Okay, so what's the number, ma'am? This is like my electric provider. Games. What's the number, ma'am?
Give me one moment, ma'am, so I can get that for you.
Okay, one moment. She's muted. So it's deliberate schemes with electricity. You wake up in the morning, want to get started on your day, electricity's off. Then you call your provider, then problems there. It's deliberate to sabotage your day. Okay, ma'am, I'm sorry. What's the number?
1-800.
Okay, I'm giving different numbers. Okay, so now there's an 800 number. I was given 8775417905. Are you sure you guys aren't conspiring to keep me from getting protected from this man?
Can I get your zip code, ma'am?
I'm just trying to make sure that you're not a scammer trying to prevent me from getting assistance like what's been done years. Okay, so what's the number?
The 1-800 number?
I don't know the number. I'm calling 211 asking for numbers, and I don't know what to do. I asked for family violence a multitude of times, and it's been sabotaged for years. Assistance with it. So I don't know what to do. Why would you guys deprive me of the numbers? Where do I call?
Okay, because like I said, we only have the phone numbers. You would have to call them, and the one that's coming out is the 1-800 number, ma'am.
Okay, and you want to know my zip code?
It's just for demographic purposes. That way we can see maybe there's an office nearby that can help you. Okay,
so what's the number first? Let's start there.
The 1-800 number?
Yes.
It's 1-800.
Okay.
799-7233.
And that's 799-7233, 800.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And you had another question, ma'am? The zip code for the demographics.
Because there are some different counties like San Antonio and
you wanted the zip code? I'm not in San Antonio, ma'am. Zip code, you wanted to know my zip code?
Yes, ma'am. I can see if there's any domestic violence near Dallas County, or I can transfer you over to 211 in Dallas County.
I don't understand, ma'am. I called you about the family violence program. I've called 211 as I've tried to get assistance years. So for Health and Human Services, I don't understand where you're telling me to go, I did in person.
I won't transfer your Health and Human Service, ma'am. It would be 211 in Dallas County.
Okay, I'm sorry. So what did I call?
This is 211, but since it is statewide, I am not near Dallas.
Okay, you don't want me to know where to go. You just said that you needed the zip code for demographics information to tell me where to go.
Referral specialist.
Hello?
Will be answered in the order it was received.
It's sick. It's sick. Every psycho abuser's dream come true.
Thank you for calling 217.
Yes, I have no clue what's going on. These representatives don't want me to get help with family violence. A multitude of them for years. So I'm asking them where to go. She asked for my zip code and been playing games. They keep giving me different numbers. They play the games in person. They do it when I'm trying to get a protection order. I don't know why all these people protect this man that claims to be innocent and deny me investigation to figure out who's been terrorizing and violating me. And then gaslight, mistreat me, and slander me, and arrest me, and assault me with no consequences. But is Health and Human Services denying me of any assistance to escape this man's abuse? Hello?
Okay, yes, I'm listening, ma'am.
I just want to know how to use the family violence program, ma'am, and where I go to get assistance. They wouldn't tell me in person, and they've been playing games on the phone. I've been on the phone an hour with games.
Okay, I'm not sure what's going on.
I said multiple times about the family violence program, ma'am. Can you tell me about it and give me direction on how to get it? She hung up. She gave me the number to the National Domestic Violence Hotline. She don't want me to get the information with the assistance with Health and Human Services.
Thank you for calling 211 Texas.
To continue in English,
So they
press
routed me
1.
back to
Para
211.
continuar en español, oprima el 2. Please press 0 if yes.
They're
press
blatantly
2. Do you
lying.
need to know about services in your area like food pantries, housing, senior services,
And there's no
child care,
consequences.
or help paying prescriptions, utilities? My name is Rose. May I have your first and last name?
It's Kiana Clark. And what did I
thank
call?
you. Okay, a moment of silence.
What did I call? What did I call, ma'am?
What was that?
What did I call in your name again?
My name is Rose.
What did I call?
What did you call?
Yes, you don't want me to know what I call?
I need to put
What did I call, ma'am? What did I call?
Why did you call?
What did I call, ma'am? Do you know what I call? What do you assist with?
Hello, ma'am, you're cutting off.
I'm cutting out. I'm cutting
Oh,
out.
there you go.
Okay, you hear me now. You heard me ask your name, but you didn't hear me ask what did I call.
I need to get some information from you.
You don't want me to know what I call, ma'am?
Go ahead, ma'am. Go ahead.
Can you tell me what I call, ma'am? What number did I dial? I want to make sure I dial the right number.
211, you called 211?
It was a long time coming, ma'am. Oh, wow. That was a long time coming. Okay, 211. She's muted, forcing me to give my number to scammers year after year. Okay, ma'am.
Hello, ma'am?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay.
Yes, I'd like to know. I called 211. I'd like to know about the family violence program that you guys offer.
Family violence?
Right. Program with Human Health and Human Services?
Yes, ma'am. Let me get you that information. Let me see. We do have SNAP benefits, ma'am. We have
I asked for the family violence program, ma'am. The family violence program that you have. Let me tell you about it, what it offers. I've called along. Are you there, ma'am?
I'm hearing you.
Okay. So you're not aware of the family violence program that you offer there? You don't have information on that?
For the family violence, ma'am?
Right, for the family violence program. You're not aware of it? Do you need me to tell you about it?
What is the purpose for you calling us?
I've said it multiple times for the family violence program, ma'am. Information on it. You guys don't want me to know? Have any information on it? Why would you not want me to get help with family violence, ma'am? Hello?
I can't hear you.
You can't hear me now?
Hello, ma'am? Hello, ma'am? Are you still there?
Yes. Can you hear me now? She hung up. She called again. Years. So I called 211 all those times. Then I called. I don't know what happened with my phone. Let me go back. Okay. First issue with my power. They were playing games, called 211 all this time. They referred me to the National Domestic Violence Hotline. Then they had me call this number, which is still 211, just another avenue of getting 211. And they keep hanging up, protecting this man, as well as every other location I go to, as well as all law enforcement avenues. I'm fully aware. That's why I record everything. There's a lot of videos, but there's so many crimes that repetitively happen to me. You got to see it to believe it. Amigo Energy cut my power off in a glitch. December of 2017 when I did not go to a networking event. It was Christmas time. I told him I could not come. And my electricity as well as gas got cut off. It's not
Press
easy
1.
getting through. They
Para
play
continuar
games
en
with me putting my
español,
social security
oprima
number
el
in. It wouldn't
Please
take
press
that
0
until
for
I got my
other
tablet.
languages.
Yes, I've called several times today.
And what information are you calling for?
I like information on the family violence program with Health and Human Services.
The Family Violence Program?
That's correct.
Ma'am, can you hold on one moment, please?
You want me to hold on? Okay. What was your name, ma'am? What's your
My
name?
is
What's your name?
Ma'am, my name is Diane.
Okay.
I'm trying to see if I can find that information, Family Violence Program.
They don't. The Dallas County doesn't offer any of them. They don't help women fleeing abuse at all.
We have information for domestic violence shelters.
Okay, but the Health and
We
Human
have that
Services.
information. But I don't have one directly for Dallas County.
Well,
That says Dallas County handled that.
okay. When you're ready for me to talk, I can talk.
No, go ahead, ma'am.
Okay, so Google family violence with Health and Human Services. I'm calling 211. So Google family violence, Health and Human Services.
Mm-hmm.
Google it. 211.
Okay, I can't Google it because we can't.
You're
get on the
211 and you
internet.
don't want to Google assistance for helping me?
Yes, I'm trying to help you.
How? And you won't Google it?
Can you hold on just one moment, please, ma'am?
Okay.
Thank you.
This is why I had to live in a tent. I know you have to see it to believe it. They would not help me. I called all surrounding Metroplex areas, scammers, rude, hanging up, just like what you witnessed today. It was blatantly lying, as you see they have done in person too. Everywhere I go, the police just interrupt and have people become criminals and enforce my abuse. Everywhere. It's not a joke. To the degree of an assault and arrest it's just for attending a domestic violence support group. Unaddressed, no consequences for years. And then deprived me out of funds, having me call these scammers years that play games and cover for all the crimes.
Health and Human Services so they can assist you.
Okay, what location are you transferring me to help in? Hello? Hello, ma'am?
You have reached the Texas Health and Human Services Community.
It's routing me right back to the beginning, to the start.
1. If you know your case number, press 2. If you or Social Security
It's
number.
malfunctioning
If you
again.
want to try again,
It did this at
enter the
first.
information
I
we
keep
need
entering
to
the
look
Social
up your
Security
case.
number and it won't
If
take it.
yes, press 9. If you don't have the information we need.
Security number?
Okay, I'm sorry. Can you repeat what you just said? I didn't hear you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for calling the Health and Human Services Commission. My name is Dawn. May I please get your case number or your Social Security number?
She's muted since the
Thank
government's
you so much for verifying that address.
since the government is hacking my phone. That's why police can cover for it.
Listed on your case?
So you need the previous address?
Yes, please.
Verification, you verify the previous address and not the current address. Okay, I guess they made an error. And only updated one address instead of updating all the addresses. Why updating the complete address? No, because you have a residential and then you have a mailing. So they had had an error and only updated one address. That's what I'm really informing you. I'm not being heard, ma'am. I've already updated the address, so they made a mistake. They're both supposed to be the same address. I'm letting you know the operator made a mistake, as well as a multitude of other mistakes for years, as well as a multitude of other locations with mistakes. So I'm informing you, and you're giving me a hard time that they only updated one address, and all of it was supposed to be updated. You understand?
I'm sorry, ma'am. Let me go ahead and, yes, ma'am, I hear you. Let me just go ahead and reiterate what I have said. Now, with changes, it takes 30 calendar days.
Ma'am, I've already heard this, ma'am. You're not listening to me, ma'am. You're not listening to me, as well as what's happened years. All of it was supposed to be updated. You have two different addresses, ma'am. Do you not want the addresses to be updated?
That is not what I'm saying.
Okay,
No,
well then I'm just trying to let you know
help you.
that if I'm not able to, ma'am. Okay, if you have to have the wrong addresses, okay, fine, ma'am. I don't have rights. Okay, so I called. I don't worry about the addresses, ma'am. You won't change it, so never mind. So
That's not what I'm saying.
they have to. It's for psychological abuse. They gotta start an address
I want to put your mind
argument
at ease by letting
for
you know
emotional
that
distress.
the
It's on
residential
purpose.
address will be updated. We always make sure that the mailing address is immediately changed. That way, you will get the
Ma'am,
mail.
okay.
They do send an email out to you, but the residential address may take up to that 30 calendar days processing.
It's been a year, ma'am. It's been a year, almost a year. But okay, whatever you say, ma'am.
I apologize, ma'am. I do see that the change was, I guess, re-reported for you on the 18th of October.
Are we allowed to talk about why I called?
Yes, ma'am, of course. May I please get your telephone number?
It's a form of harassment. Okay, I would like to know about the family violence program that you have.
Let me go ahead and do a little bit of research into that for you, ma'am. Do you mind if I place you on a brief hold while I do so?
No, I don't mind.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Just one moment.
Okay. So they play all these games and all these psychological schemes, and then when you're acting baddie, and then they're disregarding that you have changed your address for years, and they will not change it, period. Then argue with you and enforce the crime that's happening. They don't want me to get my mail. They don't. They've already committed open felonies. So what do? They have these vital locations pretend like there's a problem with my address so they can enforce the crime of me not getting my mail, which is still a felony. So since I can't give all these locations, my insurance company, when the hit and run that they covered for, not hit and run, it wasn't a hit and run, but when the man deliberately hit me in front of my child's home so I can be in emotional distress, the government does not want me to see my child for profit. And they get away with it years. So when they hit me in front of the house and the guy kept getting caught in lies and hung up, they lost my address. So there's no evidence of the crime that he, the fact that he intentionally hit me. He said he saw me. He stated, you were in the road all the way down the street. I was making a U-turn. So he saw me all the way down the street. They hide and they creep up. So he saw me all the way down the street, purposely came and hit me. He didn't he did not get off the brakes. He just intentionally hit me, saw me, and would not stop. But since I was making a U-turn, the responsibility's on me, even though he deliberately did it. You're still looking for the information, ma'am? This time around,
just running a little slow today.
the computer's running a little slow, ma'am. Okay? This time around 17 minutes. Ma'am, that's okay.
I can't hear you. Your phone is cutting out.
It's cutting out, ma'am? Okay, ma'am. I can be on hold. Hopefully you can look for the information because they haven't found it years. Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So I was telling the adjuster that the police would not investigate all this. Can she help? Since she obviously saw that the man was lying. And then they lost my address. They went ahead and paid the claim. They lost my address, and that's why they didn't give me any updates or do anything regarding it. But if my address, you would think that they would call me if they couldn't, the mail was getting returned and they didn't have my address. Why wouldn't they call? They call when to get my information on the accident. They had my number then. So this is one of the things that I was talking about. So then when you have a meltdown, now you're mentally ill. They have created havoc and all these problems. And then when you act combative and you're what's going on here, then see, she's combative and mentally ill. Not taking in consideration the years that I've been trying to update my address and you guys will not do it. And all the other crimes, they ignore all that and then just want to hone on in and magnify the fact that, I have reacted to the chaos I was forced to live in for years with no consequences for anyone that I can see. So this is sending a message. The United States provides no assistance for women escaping abuse. Hello? If it's me.
So I do show here that we have the information and referrals line that the agents there can assist you with referral for the following local services regarding.
So the family violence, you're depriving me, ma'am, I was on hold 20-something minutes just this time. So Health and Human Services is depriving me of services. They will not assist me with the program that you guys have, period. I'm not allowed it.
Of course, they're going to want to assist you. They want to assist everybody.
Okay, well then I'm asking about the Health and Human Services programs and not referrals to other locations. I'm at Call Health and Human Services, and I'm asking about your program. And I don't know why you deflect and refer me to somewhere else. I would like to know about your program for family violence.
I understand that, ma'am. It's just I don't. I can look in here. I'm going to try and find you a direct dial line to that for that information. But
so you had me on hold all that time, and for years they don't want me to know about it and lie and say it's the way that they code the account. Why would Health and Human Services, as well as the United States, deprive me of any assistance to escape this abuse? All avenues for years. This man claims he's innocent, but I don't see anyone that's not covering for him. That's a red flag that he's not. I don't know why Health and Human Services, all these domestic violence locations, Frank Crowley Family Violence Division and Child Abuse Division cover for him, all police departments, DOJ, FBI's. I don't understand why I'm deprived of all law enforcement and all help everywhere I go. And mail, because I've written all over the place. Why would Health and Human Services blatantly lie to me to keep me in my abuse, as well as all other avenues I have to try to escape this man's abuse? Why would you guys blatantly lie and enforce my abuse?
Well,
for years.
You have information into the family violence program.
I'm asking. I don't know. I don't want to be deprived of the services with Health and Human Services, ma'am. I'm not being heard.
And I can get.
I don't want you guys to deprive me of services like a multitude of other locations. I'm trying to get to the bottom of why everywhere I call refers me to somewhere else and deprives me of their services. So I'm not getting anything resolved because everywhere refers me somewhere else to never get the services. I want to concentrate on your services that you're depriving me of right now.
I don't have, the information I have here would be to give you that, direct dial line or refer you to the.
Well, can you Google? Because you're mistaken, ma'am. Can you Google? You're mistaken. You have a family violence program.
I have a number that I can give you.
Ma'am, what's your position? Let me speak with a supervisor. I don't understand why you don't want me to get help with family violence, ma'am, as well as every other avenue I've taken to try to get help. All of them. In person and on my phone.
Thank you so far. I'd be more than happy to look into seeing if I can get you further assistance.
Yes, they'll commit the crime too, but we'll have an explanation to why they're depriving me of information for family violence and all avenues, the same experience. So at least we'll have a supervisor that can enforce the crime, and that way you see there's a lot of people conspiring to me staying in this abuse. Okay, ma'am, the supervisor.
I'll be right back with you in just a moment.
So they will not give me the information. You see it yourself. So when you start your day, I read my devotionals and you try to be positive, but then there are schemes for emotional distress. Electricity off, then forcing me to call the provider, then they're playing games. So they deliberately create issues. I'm not saying that definitely that's what happened. They cut the electricity off. Things like that has been done on purpose. So they scheme for emotional distress on the days that I'm happier. These are the things that I can't talk about. Like saying my daughter's missing. I'm going to give your child away to CPS. We're not going to keep her because she loves you and misses you and cried. So you know what? We're going to give her to CPS. You sent ambulance over here and fire trucks. Police showing up on their own. Caseworkers come showing police blatantly lying, saying that they called the Metro Care caseworker out because I was having a mental crisis. Blatantly lied. Metro Care caseworkers covers for it and then tells me that she thinks that I'm mentally ill. And hell, trying to escape the government's abuse is only hurting myself. Let it go. So what do you do, apartment complex, when they deliberately cut the AC off? Then come play games, won't fix it. Then finally when they do cut it, come fix it, they're rude and cut the heater on for maybe an hour or so. So it's already scorching hot. Then they cut the heater on. With it in the heat. The heater's on for an hour. I do a description saying that he is trying to repair my air with the heater on. Then he finally comes back after an hour in the scorching heat with the heater on. Cut the heater up as far as it could go and then left for an hour. Maintenance here. Then we have the gang stalkers in the stores that degrade you, violate you, cutting you off. Any opportunity they have when you can leave. Then we have wherever you go to try to flee for help, conspiring with the crimes and depriving you of services. Then sometimes he wants them to degrade you and violate you. Then they do it too. Then what I didn't record is purchasing food. They were deliberately ruining my food. I had to delete those videos because I know people didn't believe me. So I went to, I think it's Zena's downtown. I love them. And I met a lot of quality people there. So they closed down. I know people probably didn't believe these closures. So they closed down some kind of fire lie. I believe it's a lie. Some kind of fire thing that they had. That was a popular restaurant. Why would you claim that it was a fire, but you wouldn't repair it? So finally, after they opened, first time I came back when they were open, they put a lot of pepper in my food to where I couldn't eat it. I was coughing and choking. I said, I can't eat this food. There's too much pepper in it. So they said they'd make me another one. The owner came in and said, don't come back. This has happened at a multitude of locations. I started to record it. So they deliberately put all this pepper in my food so I couldn't eat it in a scheme to deprive me of services being at my favorite location. Denny's purposely degrading me, lying and slandering me. They canceled out a multitude of orders. I was forced to stay at this hotel because they kept putting me out in schemes. So at the hotel, Motel 6, which was right across the street from Denny's, someone gave me a gift card for Grubhub. So they were trying to control and force me to stay in the hotel room and isolate me. But it was the holidays around Christmas time. I was already terrified for my life, getting prank calls that threatened me. The police department covered for it and would not investigate. A multitude of them called on the hotel's phone. They did not make me feel safe because they knew where I was at, calling the hotel. So anyway, repetitively, this location would demean me, degrade me, and violate me. Along with the prank callers, I was forced. When I'd leave, the hotel would lock me out. So I'd have to go all the way back to the office to get in the room. They do this at a multitude of locations. This is part of the emotional distress. So I'd leave, and then when I come back, I couldn't get in with all these bags and different things. So I have to go to the office a multitude of times. But this is a pattern. So I'm on hold all this time. They planned that then, if I was on the bus, they set up for people to threaten me multiple times a day. Police would mistreat me. Multiple schemes for emotional distress. At the bus stop, they leave me, wouldn't let me catch the bus if I wasn't recording. I don't know how they did it. So I had to plan my trip where there would be witnesses, purposely, even if it was an inconvenience or out of the way, but I could not catch the bus if there was not witnesses. So unlike other human beings and other citizens, I had to deliberately plan my trip where there would be people there so I could catch the bus. Then after I did that, they concocted this fictitious criminal trespass and arrested me for trying to figure out why they were doing it. Multiple times. Then when I went to Eckerd, let's see if she hung up. So then I went to Eckerd and tried to get to the bottom of it because the police department would not tell me why I had the criminal trespass. You have witnessed me getting threatened and mistreated a multitude of times. Police repetitively kept covering for it. So then I went to Eckerd to get down to the bottom of it and tried to speak with Cedric Bivens and was arrested there in a scheme because the police set it up. They can't investigate all these parties that they set up to torture me. That's why they won't give me the reports. They set it up. So they couldn't investigate these bus drivers and all these people that they set up, so they just arrested me to enforce their crimes. Because if they did an investigation, a multitude of people would say, the police told me to do this. That's why they can't investigate the hotels near the FBI that blacklisted me, a multitude of hotels. You know it has to be something that is blatantly lying, blacklisting me from services around the FBI. They can't investigate it because they had them do it. So the government has abused its power and is having me speak with these counterfeits and having people blatantly lie all over to keep me in this man's abuse and their abuse. All avenues, not just some. And not just today, but for years. So it's frustrating. They don't up the information. They don't. My abuser's paying for this. So the only thing that they want to do is convince you that they're not really controlling my phone. And then also in the process, not up any information at all.
Mrs. Clark, I'm gathering as much information as I can to see how I can further help you.
I've been on the phone 30 minutes, ma'am. I've been on the phone 30 minutes, and it's that hard to find help with family violence and domestic, the family violence program. Is it impossible to get it? Is the state not going to allow me to get it, or the United States? Is that what's going on? They're not allowing me to get the assistance?
But we do have the direct dial line for the National Domestic
But you won't do any investigation to give me information, and that's your job, task, and a responsibility. You're talking, ma'am. That's really rude, ma'am. But I don't know why Health and Human Services giggle because I tried to get help in domestic violence, and why you're being rude, as well as all other locations, ma'am. So what I was stating is, why won't you Google, and if you can't find it, and you've had me on hold all this time, why won't you Google the assistance? Why would you inconvenience me and do all this? Are you trying to keep me from getting the assistance?
Of course not.
Okay, well, can you Google?
I'm going through my system. I don't believe I'm allowed to use those outside sources. I use what's in my system.
You believe? But,
My
I mean,
system
you're
will
Health and Human
direct me.
Services, and you're not
No,
familiar
my
with that
system-
very vital program if people are escaping domestic violence and family violence.
Right. If it's in my system for it, which the Domestic National Violence Hotline and the INR...
I'm not being heard, ma'am. Health and Human Services, that's what I call, ma'am. Health and Human Services. And if you're not aware of that program, why won't you do your due diligence to find the program instead of talking while I'm talking, preventing me from getting the assistance like what's been done years? You keep having me on hold, but some kind of way you are not looking for the program. That you're rude. This is abusive, ma'am.
To try and find... I'm sorry, go ahead.
It's rude. So why is it so hard to find the program? Why won't you Google it? And Google it so you can start to know how to get the assistance. If you don't know it exists, why don't you Google it and see what I can see? I mean, you can just look at the Health and Human Services site. It's on there.
I have access to my systems here.
Let me give you the site, ma'am. Let me give you the link. Let me give you the link information. Since you claim you can't find it, ma'am, let me give you the link. Just one moment. Can I give you the link, email it to you? That way you have the link and you can see what the services you offer?
I don't believe that I'd be able to.
Okay, well, let me verbally give you the link over the phone. Because it sounds like what you're really trying to do is sabotage assistance. I don't think you're being honest, like a multitude of other parties. But I'll go ahead and give you the link, ma'am. Just one moment. Ma'am, I'm giving you the link. I'm not understanding why you would want to place me on a brief hold while I'm trying to give you a link so you can know the services you offer. That doesn't make sense.
I'm authorized to use my system that I've been authorized to use to find...
Ma'am, it's a link to your site. Ma'am, are you sure that you're not trying to sabotage my assistance? It is the Health and Human Services site, ma'am.
Go ahead and give me that website, ma'am, please.
Okay, one moment. Okay, go to your Health and Texas Human Services website. Are you there? Now type in Family Violence Program, which I'm not quite sure why you had me on hold all this time and you wouldn't do it yourself. This is how long? This time. So did you type in Family Violence Program?
Not sure if my system does that the same as like your computer would.
Okay, so you put in the search for the Family Violence Program, and now you have concocted that your system won't let you search it?
I'm looking for the search on here, and I can't seem to find it. I mean, all I'm really authorized to do is look into the system that I have provided for me in my, little cubicle.
Can you do customer service and call around, ma'am? Because if 211 is making it impossible for me to get services as well as every other avenue I take, that has to be criminal. Conspiracy to violate civil rights is a crime. So as it has been done years, impossible by law enforcement actually showing up and enforcing crimes is criminal, ma'am. So I'm not quite sure why whole Health and Human Services on the phone and in person deprives me of information as well as every other avenue I take for years. tried to report it to the FBI, but they were committing crimes too and depriving me of services in law enforcement as well as investigation.
To the domestic violence hotline or to call 911 if it's an emergency. But
so you're depriving me of the right to use the services that you have there at Health and Human Services and to further investigate this program that you have. You will not let me use those services, period.
The domestic violence hotline.
I'm not asking for the domestic violence hotline, ma'am. I'm asking for help with the Health and Human Services, and I don't know why you would violate my constitutional rights and deprive me of getting that assistance as what's been done for years. Why would you deprive me of my right to use that program and lie about it?
You over to that information referral line for more information on that, family violence services.
I wanted to use the Health and Human Services. That's what I call. Why would you deprive me of my right to use the family violence program that you offer? Why would you lie about that? Why would my rights repetitively get violated with no consequences year after year? Why won't you look and find the avenues for me to get the assistance and the information so 211 didn't want to tell me, and then they gave me you, and then they lied in person.
When you call 211 and you choose option 1, it'll get you over to the information.
They wouldn't tell me, ma'am. They keep giving me, but I'm Health and Human Services, and you're passing the buck and deflecting. You have a program. You had me on hold all this time. In fact, years of this living nightmare. Why won't you do your due diligence as well as everywhere else I go? Why do I repetitively get deprived of services year after year with no consequences? Violated over and over and over and over again. So, ma'am, obviously it's your job duty to make sure I don't get services when people, that's kind of like a downfall. If your job responsibility is to lie and enforce I don't get services like I have not been, you're not going to up them. You're going to repetitively lie and prevent me from getting them no matter what I say. I have already been trying on just this call for an hour, so you're not, for 40 minutes and 56 seconds, you're not going to give it to me. You're just going to continue to lie. And police are still going to continue to enforce the crimes unless someone is held accountable. So you're not going to up them. So is there any other avenue, since you couldn't find them in this con, to get the help with Health and Human Services, even though your Health and Human Services that you can't find? What's the next con to help me get these services? Obviously, the family.
That 1-800 number I previously provided.
Right, I'm not being heard, ma'am. I want to get the services with family violence. Your con is to call the family violence hotline. But even though that's a con, I'm asking for help with Health and Human Services, which is what I called. So since you can't find the assistance with Health and Human Services, who can give me that service with Health and Human Services? Since you can't find it.
I'm afraid I don't understand your question, but I'm going to continue to look for assistance for you. Do you mind if I place you?
I've been on hold 40 minutes, ma'am, and you haven't found it. So if you don't know and you can't find the assistance, you've had me on hold all this time. So is there a number that you recommend? Do you recommend me call a local location and see what con they have up for depriving me of services? Or, what's the con now? Because you're Health and Human Services and you can't find it. Obviously, I don't want to speak with the National Domestic Violence Hotline. I'm requesting help for Health and Human Services. But you're forcing me to call that hotline, which also deprives me of services too. You've been researched a long time, and I just want to make sure that you're aware. I want to use Health and Human Services benefits, not forcing me to call other numbers to not get the services you offer there.
Which benefits are there that you're wanting us to
Once again, ma'am, I told you to search and you didn't want to do it. You concocted that it was something wrong with your search. All other crimes repetitively keep happening. The family violence program that you offer. Family violence program that's in my search, and now you have con that you can't search for it. All kind of other avenues deprive me of information, the years of this. So you've been searching all this time. in your Health and Human Services, and I'm looking right here that you offer the services, but some kind of way you can't find it.
Is there like a specific website other than if you give me like the full address, I can put it in and see if it brings anything up. Otherwise I would just have to direct you to, like I said, the domestic violence national hotline or to call 911.
You're not really making sense, ma'am. If you offer Health and Human Services of the Family Violence Program, why would you be forced to give me services outside of what I'm requesting if you're not committing an active crime? You're not making sense, as they have not for years. So you're unwilling to contact the supervisor. You're unwilling to call anywhere inside since your computer's malfunction, and you've came up with all other cons to prevent me from getting these resources as well as in person. So you're refusing to contact anyone else since you can't find it.
But I'm asking your permission first if I can put you on a brief hold while I try and reach out and get someone on the line for you.
Sure.
Thank you. Just one moment, please.
So I stated the bridge was highly, highly controlled. And my abuser likes these people to degrade me and be emotionally abusive in these environments. So at Salvation Army, when I ask for detergent to wash, they walk off while I'm getting it and play games. They help everybody else with their food. And then when they came to me, they walk off. This is what I had to endure. Some of the things that I wasn't sure people would believe. So I stayed at the bridge, just minor, not very long. So I went to Gloria's, which is a Spanish restaurant, and I enjoyed it. I had a nice day. So the bridge schemed conflict. I don't even know what happened. They don't even have their story straight. So they put me out. I was already terrified for my life, and I had a good day and went to the Gloria's. Came back, they put me out. Would not give me my property, period. They said I had to come back in and get it. They were rude and degraded me and didn't even know why they were putting me out. I had to endure this years. So they put me out without my property. Then I tried to catch the bus. The bus wouldn't let me catch it.
Do you mind if I place you on another brief hold while I continue to do so?
No, I don't mind.
Thank you. One moment.
So the bus wouldn't let me catch it until they set up abusive bus route. Okay, so they wouldn't give me my property. So I had to wait and go to an area where I could catch the bus because they wouldn't let me catch it. So I went to an area with witnesses and caught the bus because I had a bus pass that I had already had from my bus route going to Gloria's. So this is the schemes to keep me in emotional distress. So then they were playing games so I couldn't catch the bus. A long time, police was harassing me, asking for my bus ticket, bullying me at the West End. The reason why I was so many police is because that was my hangout and I met a lot of different people. So they started guarding it like Fort Knox. So they were bullying me and violating me there, asking for my bus pass, hassling me. I showed them the bus pass. Then they asked me what bus I was going to catch because they wanted to set up abuse. I said, I don't feel comfortable telling you what bus I'm catching. I want to do it on my own. I'm going through an abusive situation. They demanded to know. So I told them what bus I was going to catch. They play games and I never could catch it. So then being forced to be in this environment, I just say, okay. They play games all the time. I sleep on a park bench. And then they played games on the park bench. Then I was threatened and all kind of multiple different things. They would have people threaten me and all kinds of chaos. It was routine. That's why they want to investigate these reports. So then when I say that they create emotional distress, that's what I mean. This is how long I've been on hold trying to find out family violence, the family violence program. They're not going to up it. So I guess I'm just wasting my time. That's what they're getting paid to do. Let's talk about, while I'm on hold, the time that the city came. The city's behind the abuse. So the people have stayed in this community years. But when I got there, the city came and required people to move. But they targeted me and came to my tent area first. Bullying me, violating me, trying to bulldoze my tent. And then the problem they created, I was eating a salad. Since they targeted, I think there was like 4 tents in a row. And I was like third. And they targeted me and came to my tent first, preventing me from finishing my salad. Open on camera footage. So why would the city target me and violate me and force me to move out of this environment. All these other parties that weren't concentrating on them moving, but they targeted me, and it ruined my salad because they were going to bulldoze it. I don't know why they would need a tractor. It didn't make sense. But they had a tractor trying to bulldoze the tent area, the city. When I saw the city and the government behind all these schemes that would just seem like they were out of control, you abusing power to where you have the city come force someone out of a tent community and then target me and come to my tent first, and it wasn't even the first one in the area, and then got away with it. So I told them, I said, can you help get those other people? They would not. And they concentrated on bullying and violating me and even damaged some of my property. The city also came to the Bluffman location I lived in, giving out tickets, citing these people until they started to violate me. And I guess I'll find that information and put that in the feed. They ruined the address. They degraded me and started arguments with me as well. And when I go outside to try to get fresh air, they lock me outside and then force me to be outside a while. This is how long I've been on hold, just trying to get the family violence program. That says 52 minutes. And it's just not today, but years. Okay, I'm hanging up. They're not telling me. If it hasn't happened in 53 minutes, they're not going to. So I'm trying another avenue so you can have more evidence of these crimes that I've had to endure years. Okay, I'm calling the actual office and see what crimes they have.
The Health and Human Services Committee. Health and Human Services, how many directed call?
Yes, I'd like to know about the family violence program that you have there.
About the what program?
Family violence program.
Oh, we don't have that here. This is the food stamps and Medicaid.
Okay. Where is that located? Where do I get that service from?
I do not know. Let me see. I think I have a number. Abuse, neglect of children or persons 65 years old. There's the Adult Protective Services.
It says this family violence program is for like partner abuse, domestic violence, family violence, survivors of dating violence.
Did they give you this telephone number?
Yeah, a multitude of people just blatantly lie. Can you do a little legwork, please? Because I've had blatant lies to deprive me of getting that assistance.
The only one that I have is the Adult Protective
This is
Services.
Health and Human Services? This is Health and Human Services?
Number?
Ma'am, can you hear me? The Adult Protective Services you can't hear me now, ma'am?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes, so Adult Protective Services, not the family violence with partner abuse and all of that. That's different. So if you're Health and Human Services, do you think that you could do a little legwork? Because I've been trying to figure out these things years and have been deprived of assistance. So since you're Health and Human Services, can you find out? Can you put me on hold?
Google that one?
You're Health and Human Services and you don't want me to know. What location are you?
Oh, we did the Ledbetter.
And you don't want me to know about domestic violence, ma'am? The family violence program? You don't want me to know?
One moment, please. I'm going to find out.
Okay, thank you.
I don't have their number.
Okay, well, is there anyone that can find a location? Because I haven't been able to get any assistance years.
Just a moment.
Okay, thank you. So I hung up. I'm calling the family of. I did a Dallas location, but it called a location in Dangerfield, Texas. So I guess they need time to have this location scam. Hold on one moment. It dialed the wrong number. This is what I put in. I click call for this location right here, and it called a Dangerfield location. It's doing it again.